different, location than where, but it's really nice.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area, and the house, of course, is gorgeous.
Yeah, I like it out here. It's not as noisy except the motorcycles that go up and down the county road every once in a while at nighttime.
Aggravate you.
Uh-huh.
How many of these dolls do you have, haunted dolls?
I lost count at 300
Really?
a couple of years ago. So I
Wow.
guess maybe around 400 or more.
Yeah.
And that's, mostly dolls. I kind of count the haunted paintings I have and a couple other items
Yeah, because that's
in there.
yeah. He's got some really cool paintings that we saw already, and they look pretty cool. So we're gonna we'll see them again, like the nun. The reproduction, that is
And the
interesting.
cool fact became haunted one day. I don't know though. That creepy face turning and looking at me, that might
Yeah,
scare me a little bit.
yeah, but yeah, he has quite a bit of, and you got one that actually moves a lot, don't it? That I think we had it on a show.
Yeah, the two
Before.
that moved together on
Yeah.
Abnormal Alabama. One of them's eyes flutters, and they kind of moved together.
Yeah,
On live video.
yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty
That was on
obvious there that
was on
something
that
was
show,
going
and the
on.
guy noticed the dolls. Yeah.
Yeah, Abnormal
they kinda-
Alabama. We were still in Kelsey's office back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe. I can't
Yeah.
even think of his last name, but Joe's his name, and he does paranormal investigating. He was on there from his house,
Yeah.
and he saw it because I thought I was looking at Kelsey's laptop, and out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw the doll kind of bob. I looked.
Yeah, they like did a bump. I
And-
thought maybe the floor's uneven. Somebody
Yeah.
walking by. There was nobody walking by. You
No,
were
it
all
wasn't.
sitting.
Catherine was over on the couch, laid out over here. It was just the three of us.
Yeah,
And the only thing I tried to be skeptical of, or try to find some logical reason,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's me.
I do that.
That's me.
was I went back and watched the video. Kelsey kind of straightened his laptop a little, but that was several seconds before they moved. I mean, if that had happened right when if he jostled the table,
hmm
Yeah.
but he just kind of did this, and then several seconds went by, and that's when
Yeah, he
and that
moved
one's
his
eyes
laptop.
fluttered,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like they leaned closer together.
Yeah, and the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
I really wasn't expecting it to do like on demand like that.
Yeah.
But it did, and I was like, wow, that's pretty.
And then you
That's
got-
really good.
Didn't you have it on one of the another person's show or something?
Yeah, there were a couple.
Yeah.
I know. What is that does? A kid, he's got kind of this surfer dude voice when he narrates videos, but I can't think if it's Sir Spooks or one
Sir
of them.
Spooks.
Yeah, Sir Spooks.
Yeah.
And I saw his. He had a clip of that on there and said my name and the YouTube channel. I thought,
Oh, that's
good.
cool.
And some lady at a convention said she saw it on Nuke's Top 5, but I haven't been able to find his yet that has it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was on the top 5.
He has
That's
been
where
on
I
for-
saw it on Nukes.
Yeah.
he's been on for a long time, and he has.
He had that whole
thousands.
Halloween special, and he's like,
Yeah.
check this out. And it was like, wait a minute, I know these people. I know them.
Yeah. Mine and Cherie, my friend in her house in Georgia, he showed her clip she caught where she's showing her doll collection, pinning around. She comes around, and one of them had its hand up and went like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but who
And that got all over YouTube and TikTok.
I watched one where these people, I guess, came from Africa, and they bought some. It was like a ceramic. I think it was like a ceramic reproduction of a. What do you call those? I can't think of the. The animals that are really tall. They eat the
A giraffe?
giraffe.
Yeah,
It was a giraffe, and that thing, when they brought it home, they were finding it in different areas, and it don't move. It doesn't. It's totally like ceramic. It doesn't move, but they started putting up cameras, and then this giraffe was just basically sliding down across the floor and looking around corners and stuff. I don't know if they got rid of it or not, but that was pretty spooky, moving around like that. And they think somebody. A lot of times when you go to Africa, there's some animosity there. Like the Africans think that you're just, a jerk or something, and they'll actually put a spirit in something to send home and sell it to you.
Yeah.
And that happens from time to time. I'm not saying all Africans that do it, but there's some that just they
I think
don't.
I've seen
they
that
don't
video,
want-
and a lot of people are
It's
like,
interesting.
you know, they could have been pulling, like using a fish line to move the giraffe. And all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how did you come about? Like, how did you know you wanted to start collecting dolls? That's why I wanted to ask you.
That was from, I'd already been investigating. Well, I grew up, I can go all the way back. I grew up in West Jefferson where it used to be Cherokee territory.
Oh yeah.
And we'd find little pieces of pottery in the dirt and stuff out there in the woods. And we had, just about every house out there had a ghost story, because not only that, there was an old cemetery dating back to the 1800s right behind part of the neighborhoods. In fact, some of the people, their backyards went right to the cemetery.
Yeah.
And every house had of course we teased maybe they built some of the houses on top like in Poltergeist, but I don't think that happened. But still, to have tombstones in your backyard there, that's kind of creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But every house had
It
a
is.
ghost story, and we had, well, it wasn't anything bad, but we would hear a lady's voice at night. We would hear footsteps in the hallway, footsteps in the attic where all it was a crawl space. You couldn't stand up, let alone walk, but we would hear footsteps, like somebody walking. And then when we added on to the back of the house, we put an upstairs bedroom and a downstairs den. We'd hear the footsteps run up and down the stairs, and our little Shih Tzu would stand there just barking like somebody had broken in.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So, but we couldn't see anybody. Even all that, my dad still didn't believe it.
He still don't believe you. Yeah.
Oh, it's just a limestone around here popping. Yeah, it's popping something, but it ain't what you're thinking. But
It's funny.
that got me
Yeah.
interested.
Limestone. Yeah.
But
That's funny.
that got me interested in ghosts early on. The ghost
Yeah, me
stories
too.
we'd tell each other in the neighborhood. What happened at your house last night? Oh, I heard somebody knock, and we opened the door, wasn't nobody there.
Yeah.
And of course, some of the kids would lie, be colorful. I saw a bloody headless man run across the road. No, you didn't see that,
Yeah.
but there were some weird things going on. And so I got to reading ghost stories when I was young.
Catherine
And this
Wyndham.
she was another one
Yeah.
that inspired me. I loved her Jeffrey books.
Yeah. Alabama Ghost and
Yeah.
Jeffrey. Is
She
John
was-
just got through reading that book because he'd never
Yes.
read it before.
You hadn't read it? Oh,
So I bought it
so-
and I let him borrow it to see what he thought of it. Yeah.
It's almost like you gave it to me.
Yeah,
'cause
it's still
on the
sitting
kitchen
there.
table.
Yeah.
I was like, here you go, Jay, have your
Yeah.
book back. And all of a sudden I come in here and I'm like, that book ain't haunted.
Yeah.
Because it's sitting right there. I think he forgot.
But I got to Georgia, Tennessee one
Yeah.
too, where
I got-
there's some local stuff I wanted to go to there, sometime.
Yeah, I've been to some of those places she's written about. Now, of course, some of them around
Yeah.
here are easy to get to, but
Yeah.
I loved her stories. And then I kept saying, when I get out of school, I'm going to go see these places for myself. And
I
I
know.
did. Right out of college, me and my brother would drive around. And then we started doing investigations. Of course, we were on a budget, so we had a little electronic recorder and a camera. It was basically all we
Right.
had. But in Sloss, I caught my first EVP when I set the recorder on one of the steps going up the catwalk, and they don't allow you to walk up there because it's dangerous. But I set the recorder there, and we went on. I thought, I'm going to catch some footsteps or something.
Right.
And on the recording, I hear us walking back. I hear me say something to my brother, and right near the recorder, this gruff voice goes, "Kevin!" And you hear me
Wow.
walk up and say, "I think we're done now." Marking the end of the recording.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
wasn't me, it wasn't my brother. And so that was my first EVP capture.
That is.
So we started just going. We went together to South Carolina and stayed in a bed and breakfast. It's not open anymore. Somebody lives there. But it's a rice oak plantation
Yeah.
where a little girl spirit likes to tease the guests.
Yeah.
And they call her Mistress Chicken. And I found out why one night when I was laying there in bed trying to go to sleep, and I heard it sounded like a little girl cluck next to me, right in my ear.
Yeah.
And she was teasing me. Back
That's
then, I was still
funny.
a little bit of
That's-
afraid. I told myself,
Yeah.
look, but I was like, I ain't looking.
Yeah, I'm not
I
looking.
kept the
Yeah.
cover pulled up. I wish I'd looked
Leave
now.
my ears alone, they're ticklish.
Yeah, but I loved it. Now they've closed it, the bed and breakfast thing. Now I wish I could go back,
wow.
but just doing stuff like that. Then I joined Kim's team in 2010 13. And it was that time one of my coworkers was about to go on medical leave and didn't think she had long to live, and she was giving her stuff out. And she knew, everybody there knows I love ghosts. So she came to me and said, I got this doll that you can have. My daughter won't take. She's scared as hell of it. She said it's a little girl named Patty owned it. And when I bought it at a estate sale way up in Michigan, they told me that it belonged to a little girl named Patty who was the daughter of a prostitute.
Oh, wow.
And they said her little spirit haunts it. And she said, I didn't believe it. When I got home, my little granddaughter kept saying she see a little girl next to the doll. And then I started hearing a little voice and footsteps in that room. So I thought, of course,
That is.
back then, my idea of a haunted doll was Chucky, something with a knife, or
Yeah.
Annabelle, you know. I was like,
Choking you
are you
out.
crazy? And you want me to take it and take something into my home? Then I thought, well, you know what? This would be a good conversation piece for my
Yeah.
team. Hey, I got a haunted doll. So I really didn't
Yeah.
believe it till I got her home. And I started getting little taps and little giggles. And then in my kitchen, I'm washing dishes and I feel a little tug on my shirt tail. I look
Wow.
around. So I just started talking to her from then on. I was like, hi, Patty, you know. And one night I spent 2 weeks trying to capture EVPs from her at nighttime.
Oh, wow.
And finally,
Yeah.
into week 2, I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning
Mhm.
talking to this doll, feeling like a fool.
Yeah, it
telling
does
her.
feel that way after a while,
Yeah.
you know, especially if you
Tell-
think,
Telling her stories, things a kid might respond. I'm singing songs to her. I sound like a drunk on the recording because I'm half asleep.
mhm.
And at the end of the recording, I'm listening to it the next morning. I'm just disappointed again until I get to the end. I hear me say, all right, little sweetie pie, I'm talking to the doll. Gotta go to bed now, okay? Gotta go sleep. And I turn it off on the recording right before I turn it off. You hear the little girl's voice say, righteous.
Wow.
And I cut it off. And
That's
that
an
next
interesting
morning,
word.
I hear that, and so I've got it on my website, my YouTube. I've got that everywhere for people to hear it. But
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Was it on
thought-
the little like recordings that you had
yeah,
on your like page?
yeah, I had it's a picture of Patty, and you play it. It's a YouTube video, but it's just her picture, but it's the audio because it was an audio.
Are they still
recording.
on there?
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
on
wow.
my website on the Patty story page.
Yeah. We'll
And-
get all that information too for the video so people can go from our video there and just
Yeah.
check out everything
Check out
and see.
But I got excited, and then I got scared because that part was like, "Oh my gosh, it's real! It's haunted." Other parts going, "What the hell did I bring in my
Right.
house?" Because I was
Yeah.
not haunted before that.
Mm-mm.
But I got excited. I played it for my sister and brother-in-law because it was on a Sunday. The next day when I found that recording, and I go to her house. And I'm playing it for her. My brother-in-law, the preacher, he's like, "I'd get that out of my house right now if I was you."
Yeah.
And I'm just excited. So
Yeah.
I started going online trying to find other people with these kinds of items and how, what do you do with it? How do you,
Yeah.
care for it? Or,
Right.
because this is
Yeah.
new territory. I grew up on a haunted house, but this is a haunted item,
Right.
And that's how I found Cherie Shoon, my friend, to this day. And Dollhaven, who I don't know where she is now. And AJ, I'm still friends with her. And they had pages for their haunted stuff. So we friended up and we started talking. And then I did a Facebook page for Patty, which now is all the dolls. Because Cherie and AJ, they're like jackpot.
Yeah.
Hey, we got more dolls. We got to get rid of some dolls here.
Yeah.
Patty needs a friend.
Yeah, Patty needs
I'm
a
like,
friend.
wait, one's enough. But it just so happened I bought my first house in Westover and took Patty there, which she followed me there. I got the little activity there. And so I said, well, it would be kind of cool to have some more and bring my team over and do videos.
Yeah, because you don't have to really go anywhere to do an
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah, right.
You can,
Look.
yeah,
Right here.
I can pause the TV and go, I feel like an investigation.
yeah, exactly. You got
Yeah.
quite a bit here and there.
So a lot of these, I've gotten mainly from other collectors. Some lady in Hawaii sent me that little one.
There's
Over here on the table, she's facing away near the starfish.
Well, we'll let them be movie stars. You know that's
Yeah,
what they're
we
wanting
will.
to do. Let everybody
Yeah,
see
I do my YouTube every week. I do something. Now I'm starting to get burned out. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't feel like it this
yeah, that happens. You
week. But
get
I don't want to stop. And
yeah,
That wouldn't be
It
good for
happens.
business.
No, especially people who want to
So
see it too.
Yeah.
If you don't get anything for a while, sometimes it gets.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to take a break and then come back because that's
Yeah.
just the way paranormal is. It's either going to happen or it's not. You can't force it.
Ed and Lorraine, they talk about that 28 days. They actually have a thing on there where they do an investigation, and they're just saying sometimes those spirits won't open up to you.
Yeah.
So they
Right.
get to know you and get familiar with you and comfortable. That's when you start getting all the, the activity. So it was like, man, I loved watching that show. But they didn't come out with any new ones. They only had I think 2 seasons of it, 2 or 3.
Was that the Paranormal Collector? That was John Zaffis or
Haunted Collector, I think.
Haunted
he called
Collector?
himself.
Yeah.
I think it was Tony that was doing that
Well,
one.
Tony, yeah,
Oh,
he
he
might
did
be
do
doing
a
his own.
YouTube thing
Yeah.
for a while.
He did the whole 28-day thing because I think he was following what Ed and Lorraine did because they would stay like months in an investigation. And I'm like,
Especially, if it was a
where are they
helping
staying at?
somebody.
Hotel?
I know.
It's like, and they would stay at this investigation for a long time, and that was when they noticed the activity started coming about. So it was like, maybe we gotta stay there a little bit longer. I don't see me and Jason going to Deerhead Cove and staying there
No.
28 days.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen because that place was in a holler, and that was just.
Oh, it was just.
I think I even said this that I said the woods were haunted. The graveyard didn't seem to be. The woods were haunted because we were seeing. We even found like a big old X where people find on Bigfoot where the trees are like ripped up from the ground and
Yeah.
put in an X. We actually found that right by the graveyard. And I said they might actually have some other things going on here too, like
'Cause
Bigfoot
it looked like
maybe.
the tree just got strategically because it was a small branch, but it looked like they just fit it like a glove right on that.
And I
branch.
think I still have that picture. I'll have to
Yeah.
let you see it.
Yeah, we got it
a
on
little
there.
bit.
So it's really cool. When we
But-
seen that, I was like, and then we seen the shack because I knew they were talking about, hey, I think there's a church close by. Never found the church, did we?
Nope, never did.
Well, rumor, because that's all, rumor wise. I'm like, is that the church they're talking about? Jason's like, oh, looking. And
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, that's an awfully small church.
And it was like a little,
Looked
like a little
shack.
shack that the kids made or something. They had painted it up, and it just didn't feel right either because there were these like sigils on it, symbols and sigils, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to go over and mess with that because I'll just stay in the graveyard. But then we heard that card. It was just like constant. Now, did you ever have any? Do you have any dreams from these dolls, like bad dreams?
Sometimes I've had
Good question.
dreams like I have a child in my dream. Well, Patty was apparently a little blonde girl when she was alive, and in my old house, when it was just her and the few first dolls I had, it was probably Saturday, middle of the day, broad daylight. I was cleaning some towels, washcloths, and laundry, and I had them in the basket, folded up, taken to the bedroom. And in that house, the bathroom was real nice. It was a walk-through bathroom and spacious, kind of as wide as this dining area here, with a garden tub, with a jacuzzi tub. It had the jets on it, and a stall, shower stall, and this long vanity with a big long mirror. And I'm going toward the towel closet, and I glance over in the mirror as I'm walking by because I saw something. I looked, and there's this little blonde girl following right behind me, all happy. I mean, like split second, and boom, she was gone.
Wow.
I look around, like, Patty, you gonna help me with the laundry? So I knew it was
Yeah.
her, because my friend had described her as a little
Yeah.
blonde girl when her granddaughter saw it, and
Wow.
she likes to pop up. I know when I published my first book. Where's my phone exactly? When I published my first book, I took a picture holding it in my bedroom, in the old townhome bedroom, and it was just Patty at that time. It was the only doll I had. And it took several weeks before I noticed her. Somebody pointed out, "What's that over your shoulder?" I looked in the picture, and over my shoulder in the background is this little glowing shape coming up over my shoulder.
Wow.
And I zoom in on it, it's like it's like the outline of a little girl's head, and you almost see a little bow on top.
Wow.
And
wow.
That's
I don't know if I
amazing.
can find it on here, but I said, I bet that's Patty wondering what I'm doing, peeping over my shoulder. And then last year I was using that Reface app for fun, where you can put your picture in and it'll create
Yeah.
avatars of you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And one
like,
is me and Mini-Me, or me and my child, something like that, where it does you, but it also does a child that looks like what your child might be.
Yeah.
I seen that.
The trick is, if you're a guy, it's only going to do boys. If you're a girl, it's only going to do girls.
Okay.
So I had no way to go there and say, well, what would my daughter look like? It's just boys. But all of a sudden,
Yeah.
one of them had a little girl instead of a boy, with her
Wow.
arm slumped over my shoulder.
Oh,
I have to
wow.
find
Wow,
these
that's
pictures. It'll take a while, but I said, I bet that's Patty popped in my AI, because it looked like it was kind of a blondish girl with her arm slung up there.
That's wild.
And so I took that picture and started making AIs for my website. One of them's on my clock up there. And this one came up with the hair with the bow. And I made it into a picture with the real Patty doll.
Oh.
That looks like the little head that was peeping up over my shoulder that day, with a little bow
Yeah.
on top and the shape of the hair.
Wow.
And that just came up on AI with some of the pictures I was creating with that image of her.
Oh, wow.
So now I got her on T-shirts. I sell her on my Redbubble store.
Yeah. That is.
Hadn't made a lot of money on that, but
Yeah.
Now,
But,
from collecting your dolls, did that give you the desire to, like, because I've been interested in writing books. I've been interested in it. From doing that and you collecting over time, did that give you the desire to start writing?
yeah, well, I've been writing since I was a little kid. I used to like to write scary stories, like Catherine Tucker Wood.
Yeah.
I tried to write a ghost story or something,
Okay.
and tried to do a book of short stories when I was in high school and stuff, which was, I don't even, probably got thrown in the trash. I wish I still had it, but had these little stories. They weren't but like 2.5 pages long.
Oh, wow.
Probably
Yeah,
make a book
wow.
that thin if you publish
Yeah.
it now.
Short
But back
stories.
then, it was a big deal for me. I was like, oh, I wrote a book of stories. But in college, I was big on movies, and I took a screenwriting class. And I said, I'm going to try to write a screenplay. So I did. And the teacher there, I think he's the drama head too at UAB, Lee Eric Shackelford. He used to actually write for, he didn't use his real name, but he used to write for Star Trek The Next Generation a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Back when that was on the air in the late 80s, early 90s.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Shipping the Bottle was one of his stories, but they had to rewrite and put the other writer's name on there, so his name's not on there. But so he wrote some of those. He wrote stage plays and stuff like that. And I got interested in thinking, I'm going to write a screenplay then, because he really inspired me. I wrote this screenplay based on true haunted places called Haunts. And my buddy, who I met in college, he's older than me. He was middle-aged by then. But he ran websites, and he did some work for Thora Birch, who's an actress who was an American Beauty, Kevin Spacey. But
Yeah.
before that, she was a child actress. She was Harrison Ford's daughter in Patriot Games.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
What was the other big movie she did? Now and Then with Demi Moore and somebody else. There was something else she did. Can't remember now, when she was a kid. But she did all these big movies and then sort of got into her own thing. I think she does more independent now. But he worked for her and her family doing her website. I thought, hey, I got a connection. So I wrote this script. It's about a paranormal team. It was around 2006. I hadn't joined a paranormal team at that time, but I was doing my own thing. And so I knew a little something about it, but it's about this paranormal team and the professor at this college that runs it, and he meets this girl, Marla, who's got the ability to see spirits from going way back when she survived a car accident that killed her parents, but she miraculously survived, and now she can see good and evil spirits all over the place.
Oh, wow.
So he's trying to help her understand how to use her ability. And meanwhile, you got good and evil spirits battling over her soul.
Yeah.
So it's just this long, epic story. But I use real places, and here, like one of the scenes is at Sloss Furnace. I used Myrtle's Plantation, Rice Oak Plantation, places I've been to and knew the stories.
Right.
So after I'm done with the screenplay, I send it to Phil, my buddy, and he sends it to Thora's father. And a couple of months go by, and I get a phone call from Jack Burge.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm sitting there thinking, I'm talking to a man who's the father of an actress.
Mm-hmm.
He diapered her little butt when she was a baby.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah.
And I really liked her too. But I thought this would be cool if they did something with this screenplay. And he used a Hollywood term after we talked for a while. He said, I'm going to have them kick this around. That's what they say when they pass it around.
Yeah.
Oh, kick this around and see if we can do something with it. But I can't promise anything. And it kept in touch
That's
a
neat.
while, and then it just fizzled out. Nothing happened with it. So,
Man. Yeah.
2000,
Sometimes that's the way it happens.
2013, I decided I'm going to go back to writing books. And that's when I finally published my first book, which was stories about my grandmother growing up in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when I got Patty, I started thinking I want to do my roots. I want to do ghost stories.
Right.
So I wrote a book about my neighborhood, the stories there, the ghost stories, and the Indians. And then, of course, I started, when I got these other dolls, I started writing books about the collection.
Right. Yeah, because there's so much information there. Each and every doll has a story.
Yeah.
And so it would take a book to get all these stories out.
Yeah, and I
About
don't
each
even,
one of them.
I can't even promise all of them are haunted. A lot of these people give it to like at events. They'll say, I had this, I knew you'd be here. I have this scary doll. I just don't like it. She looks creepy. Like, all right, I'll take it because who knows?
Yeah.
And it'll come here and like that bride doll's up here on this case is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The lady that had that was like, it's too creepy bride. But nothing's ever happened with it. It's probably not haunted. So a lot of this I can't even
Yeah.
prove it's haunted, but a lot of them, oh,
They are like that.
I've gotten.
Like that little one there on the. I'll kind of focus in on it because that one,
Mannequin baby.
the face that's facing us, the old
Yeah.
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mannequin baby.
It's that one there, and it's.
Mr. Ghost Nation. I thought about, I don't know if I could haul that to a convention, but I thought about if Jason Hawes and them, I met them in Atlanta but I didn't have that baby at the time, but in Atlanta at the Dragon Con they came. I got to meet all of them, him and his daughter, and Tango and Dave and all of them.
Oh yeah.
Or Dave Tango and Steve
Steve.
Gonzalez. And I thought if they could, after I got him, I thought if they ever come back, I'm going to haul that thing up there to the convention.
Yeah.
And go to their table and say, you remember this guy?
That might have been the one that you were talking about when we first met at the convention. That the one that, what was it, Naniana? Was that where
Yeah,
we
I
went?
think,
Yeah.
it's the
Maybe.
one-
I
You
mean,
mentioned, you said there's one. You said I've got a couple that I don't bring because I'm so afraid they'll tear up.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
actually way back there, the witch dolls, Ann and Alice.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done it here. They've calmed down, but at my old house, they would play with electronics.
Oh wow.
It was always
Yeah.
when there were other people there.
Yeah, like
I
they
had
were.
a big party every year. I'd have my team and their families and come over, and I'd grill out and let them see the dolls, and we'd do a little investigation before
Right.
they left. And their kids got a kick out of that. Those little kids were not scared of those dolls. But I had at least 30 people in my house that night, and the power went off on one side of the house, but this side stayed on. Then this went out, that one came back on. Then the TV went on the fritz. Snow, where it's a satellite TV.
Yeah,
there
it's a
shouldn't be
satellite.
snow.
There
Right.
should be no snow.
And
No snow.
one of the girls, her husband's a skeptical electrician. He get I'll go find the problem. He straightens his
Yeah.
pants up and he goes out in the garage and he checks the fuse box, the everything, and he can't find nothing. And I said, "You're
Wow.
not gonna find anything, because that's Ann and Alice. Because the
Yeah.
lady who sent them to me warned me they play with electrical. So if you start getting the flashing, that's
Yeah.
probably them."
Wow.
And they're good on spirit box. They came from England. They've been all around the world. They were in England. It was a witch that owned them, and she painted them up, tried to use them as revenge dolls, wrote people's or something symbols or names on the back sides. It's still there.
Oh wow.
But she didn't realize that there were two little girls haunting these dolls, Ann and Alice, and they
Oh.
refused to let their dolls be used for evil bidding. And the witch was found dead one morning, not anything to do with them, but she was
Right.
found dead. They said her heart had stopped.
Oh.
So maybe she conjured something up she didn't like. But those dolls were in the house, and Jane, what's her name, that owned that famous Peggy doll, that she says, don't look in her eyes, she'll drive you crazy.
Yeah, drive me crazy, you know.
But she had those dolls, and then she sent them to a lady in Australia who was a demonologist who wanted to test them out, see if it was something evil. Maybe the witch had put something in there, and she
It
didn't
just
get
was
anything
just
bad.
two spirits, young spirits.
And then that same demonologist, I had purchased a Alice in Wonderland doll that's in the case, and there. I don't think it was haunted. She claimed it to be haunted, but it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I'm going to put that in my collection. So I bought it. And she surprised me. I get the box all the way from Australia and open it up, and there's the Alice doll. There are these two creepy dolls. Anne and Alice looking up at me. I said, what the hell? And then a little note from her, surprise, you get to have Anne and Alice because I don't need them anymore.
Wow. That is so, that's a neat story about that. That is neat.
But they started in, I mispronounced it, Shropshire, but my English friend last week corrected me. No, it's Shropshire. Shropshire.
Shropshire. Mhm.
Okay, Shropshire, England is where they started from. And I had a guy, apparently Australian people know these two dolls, because I had this guy who's been watching my YouTube for a while, and he kept messaging me. I'll pay you $200 for Ann and Alice. I'll pay you $500 for Ann and Alice. I really want Ann and Alice. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not selling them.
Yeah.
I'm selling. Anybody else might snatch the money and run, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
said they've been around the world. They're probably tired of bouncing around.
Bouncing
I don't
around,
want
yeah.
them getting in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
that's another issue. Yeah. You don't
See.
want them to get in somebody else's hands where they might try to torture it or whatever, the soul
Hurt
of
their
it.
family.
Or, yeah. I mean, it's just, it's wild. Now, there was two of them that I saw on, now I don't know if it was, they were really interesting though. They were two that was on the internet, like when you pull up and like when I put your name in and I put up the dolls, there was one that had like these X's across its eyes.
Yeah, that's one.
Is that one you're talking about? Okay.
Oh, wow.
That
One
one
of those
looked
got
scary
bloody
looking.
eyes, and the other's got
Yes.
the X's and X on her mouth.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the one I
Is
used.
that the witch's doll?
Yeah, the witches'
Oh,
dolls,
okay.
I call them. Ann and
Yeah.
Alice.
Wow.
That is,
I finally did take them out to a cut because our team, Kim Johnston, her co-founder Shane, he's all about those two. He's like, you got to bring them to one of our events now. Let's have them out. I said, no, I don't want them messing with our gear and
yeah.
stealing the show here.
That's,
We're
Bye.
making your equipment like.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they did that with my YouTube, my Ghost Tube app. I did a whole 10-minute video with them, and I got all kinds of noises coming through, like a girl screeching and all this. And I thought, this is going to be so cool on my YouTube. And I saved it. I go back, and the video's saved, but there's no thumbnail like there should be. It's
Yeah.
just black. I click to play, and it says video not playable or error
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
I had that problem with that when we went down to that graveyard, that first one we went to, the Con
The
Cemetery.
Con
Everything was corrupted. All the files were corrupted. And
All
we had
our
just a little bit to
Yeah.
make a show. And I was
Yeah.
like, sorry guys, but this is what happened. It corrupted everything.
Yeah, you corrupted everything on it.
I mean,
Yeah.
and just about everything.
I got another question. How did you meet Kelsey and Catherine? How did you meet them?
It was Catherine, which I always tells a funny story. I told it on the show one night. I said, the creepiest encounter I had was at my convention at my table. I had this woman kept coming up and looking at my dolls and grinning at them, and she kept coming back.
Hmm.
She'd come up and tap on the table and talk to them and grin at me, and then she was kind of creeping me out. Finally, she just comes up and sits down in the seat behind the table, and I'm like, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Catherine Marie."
Yeah, that's her personality.
And I tell it like that. People don't know I'm talking about her until I get to that part of the story. But that's how it was. She introduced herself at a convention.
That's
At
exactly
that
her
time,
personality. Yeah.
And we talked about the haunted dolls there on my table, and she was picking up on them because she's sensitive. And then she talked about they were planning that Bigfoot convention at the castle here in Columbiana before they did the Aniana one. They did that one, and she invited me to come speak there. And it was there I met Kelsey, and they were just starting the Abnormal Alabama YouTube thing. You need to come on the show with us. You can talk about your dolls and blah blah blah. And I didn't know I was going to be a co-host on the thing. I thought I was just going over there to talk. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
Frank
how
Lee.
he does. He'll snag you into stuff. He wanted me to perform some weddings. I'm like, I ain't no preacher.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I ain't marrying no couples.
Yeah.
But that's how, through the convention, and well, for Catherine it was a convention, and then at that Bigfoot thing, Kelsey did.
Yeah.
And that was, gosh, when was that, 2018, 17?
Yeah.
The years are flying.
It does. It does fly by.
Yeah.
We were
Lewis,
talking
he
about that.
became like a really, really close friend, you know? And I got to know him, you know, from you all.
Oh yeah, Lewis.
Lewis Powell.
Yeah, Lewis
Yeah.
Powell.
Yeah.
From Georgia.
It took me a second, and I realized who you
Yeah,
were talking
he's-
about. So yeah,
I
that's,
knew when you said Lewis, that's the first one that popped in my head.
yeah,
Sweet man, dude.
Yeah.
Telling you,
nice guy,
guy is
super
awesome.
nice.
And I got to know him, and he's just like, well, you know, he goes, I don't know if me and you could, you know, be friends. And I was like, what are you talking about, you know? And I got to start talking to him. We had a lot of things in common. And he goes, why is it everybody, when I go to do those ghost tours, they come up and they go like bonkers to do the tour? But I'm telling them that, you know, you got to have safety with it. And he's like, I mean, everybody in Georgia just kind of went on this spree. And I'm like, well, that's what we do. We got to kind of, you know, some of these places, they got to be really careful, you know, walking and all that. And it was just like when me and Jason was walking through the Deerhead Cove. You had to kind of watch where you were walking because you couldn't see in front of you, and you'd be stepping on a headstone. And me
Tripping on it.
yeah, and me, it was so
Not good.
collaged together. It was like, oh, now which way am I needing to go? Because I thought I was stepping on something, but then it was just like, you know, just say how you feel. I'm like, if I'm stepping on you, I apologize, because this whole cemetery is just kind of, you're all collage. You know, it's like 1 minute this person's sideways, this person's over here, and that person's there, and you're like, well, there's a stone right there. So where's the dude's feet? And you're like, oh, you know, after a while, it was
See,
like,
they were old, and they were just putting them in the ground anyway.
mm-hmm.
And then later on, they started putting them facing the east, and then, but some of them were like, you know, so far back that they were just kind of the odd one out. They were just like long ways, and it was just So, they just put them in, and they probably were, you know. I heard the kitty cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kitty cat's sweet. It's followed us everywhere. I thought I saw something in that back room back there, like but I couldn't. I'll have to wait till like some kind of like a shadow or something. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I've had some things back there before.
Well, all right. We'll get to seeing if we can get something.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay, this is Tessa. And now does Tessa move?
She hasn't moved on her own.
I hadn't moved on her own very much.
Not that I've seen. At my old house, she used to sit in a rocking chair. We had this.
Mm-hmm.
I used the maids to come out once a month to clean. The maids, the name of that company. And they still come here too. Of course, some of them are scared of these dolls. But one of the maids claimed that she, with the chair Tessa was rocking or was sitting in, the rocking chair, just started to rock by itself while she was in there dusting.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I wasn't home. I was at work. They had a key to the house to come in.
Yeah.
My favorite story they told was when they showed up at my house after I'd already gone for work. And they go and unlock the door, and they went to open it and it wouldn't budge. It was like something or somebody was holding it.
Oh wow.
And she was saying hello, and because she thought somebody was in there, and then she heard a man's voice on the other side of the door, like kind of far back, go, "Let them in." And so the door opens.
Oh wow.
Oh
And they
wow.
thought I was in there. They were calling him Mr. Cain, Mr. Cain, but
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
Oh wow.
The manager told me about that later.
That is spooky. I would have probably turned icy cold if I'd have heard that voice and knew your voice that it wasn't it. That's wild.
So I
But-
maybe some of the kid spirits were playing around, and one of the adult spirits told them to knock it off. Is what
That was strange. This needle went all the way up, and I thought it might have been from my phone. It was detecting my phone or something, but it didn't. It ticked up way past. It's never done that before since I've been sitting here. I haven't noticed that, but it happened.
she's good with K2 meters and EMF
Wow.
and spirit box, and
Can
she's
you?
got those blazing eyes. One of my team leader, Kim, one of her friends, has a husband who's sensitive, and he just saw a picture of her, and he was like, he couldn't look at her long. He said, "There's a lot of energy with that one."
Now do they mess with that dude that like right behind you that
The ventriloquist dome.
That looked like it moved.
Maybe.
Where
Who knows what goes on behind me while I'm sitting here at night? I
Yeah.
heard little noises, and the cat will sit up and peek around looking back here. I've tried taking pictures. I don't get anything. Finally, I just said, "Oh well, they don't want. They
Yeah.
just want to be left alone."
it's almost like something kind of like pulled it
Wow.
towards Jason behind him.
Oh,
Dude, wish I
Yeah, it might be talking to the wrong doll. Yeah, this meter, it jumped up. It was abnormal. It just jumped up. It's been pretty base on, 2, but it just started flickering like crazy.
What do you have it sit on?
she's meowing.
Here you go.
She's like, "What are you doing, my friends?"
Let me turn this.
Messing with my friends.
All right, I turned it on a lower scale, or higher scale actually. Can you make this one?
Just should be nice and should just snap.
Yeah,
Just like, just like
Oh wow. Yeah, the kitty cat does snap. You'll be living on it when I first got here, and it got to where it would put its claws in me like really quick. But it didn't hurt. It was just playing. Oh wow. Can you make this? Can you make this go up? Can you make the tri-field meter go up? Because I took it off the other. Now this is more sensitive. Okay. Okay. You're doing a good job. She is. Seems like she's. Can you make it go up again? Oh wow. Good job.
Is it going?
I'm glad I got this on camera. Yeah, she's making it move.
Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you. Thank you for making it move like that. Oh, it did a little bit more. Thank you. You can show off with us.
Yep. Dude, if that thing goes way up, I'd be like,
Wow, yeah, she's She's doing such a good job. See, it'll stay in one little spot, but it'll flicker, and you can see that there's enough that's moving it just enough.
Yeah, thank you for this.
Wow.
I appreciate it. All right.
We got
She said it should just pair up.
that's trained on her right now.
And it might be that, like, you know what?
And then there's his cool painting there of the 9.
Let me see.
And
Oh.
this is amazing.
Dude, I'm in the wrong area. Yeah, dude, you gotta go to Bluetooth, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the SD05, dude. Let me see.
And this is Tessa.
Aha! Here
This
we
is
go,
Tessa,
Jay.
the one
I got it.
that I was
Oh,
talking
this is probably
to.
here, though.
Hey, Tessa.
No. Why didn't they put that at the beginning, dude? One of these times I'm gonna have a speaker up full blast, so I'm gonna be like,
The necrophonic sound. Well,
Yeah.
it I like it because it lets you know.
what do you want me to do? You gonna record this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll record the
Here
session.
we go. You want the echo on or off?
Snow.
Snow. Did you want the echo on or off?
It don't matter. Oh, on, I guess. I can usually,
I like it because
you can figure out what it says before it goes away.
now what's her name? I don't want to say her name wrong. Hilda?
Hilda.
Hey Hilda, are you here?
That's her in the painting. The painting is, well, that picture is on it too, Hilda. Is Tessa here? Dude. Is that her?
Yeah.
She called you dude.
Dude. Hey, Tessa. She almost sounds like a teenager. Look.
I'm sorry I called you dude.
Bro.
Tessa, what are you up to?
Doggy. Strange, 'cause like my picture on the screen is still, but it looks like it's moving, like an energy moving, and I'm not moving it at all. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Because it looks like it's having a hard time focusing too.
Sorry if I started off the wrong foot. Okay.
What are you up to, Tessa? Wow.
Yeah, I get a lot of them come through the
Yes.
They get a
It's
little-
pretty active because we don't hear it this active. It's pretty active. And he's the guy that's pretty active in the
There's
cemetery.
a hay.
Is that you, Lucian? Yep, there's that clown up there in the drum.
Oh,
Right up here.
Oh, okay.
Jokester.
He's a jokester.
Now is the other photo part? The guy?
I don't know. The lady from New York that had that said she got it from a neighbor who passed, and she claimed that when she
She said, awesome.
awesome again. She claimed when she hung it in her home, she started seeing an apparition that looked like him scrolling around her house at nighttime.
Wow.
So, and of course, he's got the creepy eyes that follow you around.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I'll take it. I like to get another thing. But I don't have anything framed.
Yeah.
Look at that, Jay.
And what's his name?
I don't know.
He hadn't had a name. Oh, yeah, he hadn't.
Is there a gentleman with his painting?
It almost says, it's like it said Carter, but
It's scary.
what was it? The scare?
No, it said it's staring.
Yeah, he's got those
Oh.
eyes that follow you around. I
Yeah.
like those paintings. They're creepy when they.
When they do that, yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, see, we don't know what his name is, but if he, what's your name in the painting? Wow.
I think you got a connection with the. Is it Tess?
Can you tell us your name,
Tessa.
Tessa?
Tessa, are you still here?
Here I am. Yeah.
Right on famous.
What's that, Dad?
That was weird.
I get Daddy. They call me Daddy on the spirit box. I love it.
Well, that's cool because that lets you know that they're protecting you, probably protecting you from anything.
That was a little girl.
Yeah, I have some little ones that call me Daddy. Is that
Hello.
or is that Patty?
Patty? That's what I'm isn't it? Yeah, I thought. Is Patty here? Satan.
I thought it said Seeker.
Oh, but did it?
Seeker, yeah. That's what's
Seek
saying.
her. That's what it was saying. Instead of Satan, it was seek her.
Sorry. Jason got that.
Sorry.
What's up?
What's up? What is your name? The one in the painting. Can you tell us your name?
Victor.
I don't know which one.
Yeah, that last
Just
one.
like. Yeah. Every time I look at you, your eyes move.
Like the guy up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said no. My eyes fine.
Who's the man in the painting? We need to help Kevin find out your name.
You didn't need Tess, dude.
Tess is like the strongest one so far in here.
So, weird in a way, but so cool.
Yeah, it's.
Here lately, we get a ton.
We even got some that was Spanish.
Dude, Tess
And
again.
it's,
Hey, Tessa.
She's like, what?
I'm looking at the screen over here too to see if there's anything changed.
Did you look at me? I'm sorry when I was staring at you and you gave me a mean look. Sorry.
Those?
What?
Sounds like a little boy.
Whole range spirits from boys, girls, men,
Mhm.
older people.
No, what about the... You're from Salem, aren't you?
I got her crimson because I got that 3.
Boy.
Yeah, I'm... Karma. Were you at the Salem trials?
Lake. What sound like?
Who is the lady? I don't know what her name would be.
Yeah. I'm watching this. I'm watching the camera screen. It's just moving, and I'm not moving at all. It's so weird. It's like,
You know how it normally does, where it does the like flickering? It's been doing that a lot, dude. Like the screen.
yeah, it's like somebody else's. Okay. Who else is with us?